Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the Hoop Hogs video mailbag. I am Curtis Wilgerson with Inside Arkansas and the Pod at the Palace. You guys know the drill by now. You ask an Arkansas basketball-related question, and I do my best to answer it for you. We've been posting these every day. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, man. Smile on my face because I just knew that this question was going to come at some point, and it's something I've thought about a lot. Over the course of the last few years, and certainly since Arkansas has put this team together. Cole, you were the one. He says, if you put the last 3 Arkansas tournament teams and this current roster in a bracket, who comes out on top? I love this kind of stuff. I really do. I'm glad you asked this question. This is the perfect kind of question and conversation to have in the offseason. Maybe better served for after this season, once we see how it plays out. But let's do this. All right. Arkansas, obviously, Elite Eights in 21 and 22, Sweet 16 in 2023. We're going to skip last season and pretend that didn't happen. And then John Calipari's first roster here is obviously loaded. So if you put those teams if you put them in a 4-team bracket, what would happen? How would it shake out? How does this current Arkansas roster stack up? Okay, let's work our way through this. 2023 is out, in my opinion. They finished last. They're the 4 seed, I guess, in this group. They were too young. They couldn't shoot. I think they had the least effective, least talented front court of the bunch. Brazil was hurt. That's tough. And honestly, that season was kind of a mess with everything that was going on. And they went on a heater. They beat Illinois, beat Kansas, and that kind of masked what was honestly signs of bad things to come, which is what we saw last season when Arkansas really struggled. This is the hard part because I absolutely loved the 2021 and the 2022 teams. Everything about them, and for very, very different reasons. You know, that 2022 squad was that was crazy. They were so gritty. You know, that was a special group, tough as hell. They were great defensively. Man, they could lock you up. But it was a unique setup, right? I mean, it was literally JD Note and 4 forwards in the starting lineup. I mean, you had one dude who could handle the ball, but then just a bunch of tough MFers, you know, alongside him there. You think about Audis Tony and what he brought to the table defensively. Stanley Amude, who was great. He's one of my favorites of the Musselman era. Trey Wade, you know, Uncle Trey, and then Jalen Williams. That team was so fun. But man, they didn't have any depth. Devo Davis, kind of your 6th man there, the other piece in the backcourt. Chris Likes, the closer, right? When it comes to free throws, I guess. Kamani Johnson, if Jalen Williams fouled out or really needed a breather. So from that standpoint, I guess I would give 2021 a slight edge here personally. Jalen Tate was just so underrated as a jumbo point guard, lead guard, and a leader. It was the Moses Moody year. Justin Smith, I think, is the best 4-man that Muss ever had. You can plug Justin Smith onto any Arkansas roster and immediately get better. He did so many things, just changed everything for the team. Honestly, that 2021 team, they didn't have that classic, Musselman downswing in January if it wasn't for Justin Smith being hurt with that ankle for a couple weeks, because when he was healthy, they were elite. They beat up on people. That record was crazy good. When Justin Smith was healthy and that squad was at full health, he just changed things. Young Devo, freshman Devo, was probably the best Devo they ever had because he understood his role and he played so hard. Such an exciting player. Do you remember freshman Devo? That was so much fun, man. My goodness. I mean, Jalen Williams really comes on strong late in the year. That was, Connor Vanover back when you could play him or you had to. And then Jalen Williams comes on strong. And he kind of supplanted him by the end of the season. JD Note, I mean, he was the star, and rightfully so, of that 2022 team. In 2021, he was the 6th man of the year. You're bringing that off the bench. So that's a good problem to have. Desi Sills was still in the mix, which was fun. Who else is there? Vance Jackson in a pinch, I guess, if you needed to turn to him to come in and shoot a 3 or whatever. But I really, really did like that team. So I think I would go the 1 seed being that 2021 team over the 4 seed, which would be the 2023 team. And then I would I would seed the 2022 squad 2, and I would probably have them beating this year's roster as the 3 seed. But with the 2021 team, believe it or not, I think I would have them winning in a 4-team bracket. That team was awesome. I could probably be talked into going the other way around between those first 2 tournament teams there, but I think that's where I'm at. Yeah, right now I would put this year's current roster probably 3rd of the 4 in that mix, but honestly, that's without having seen them play together this year. You know what I mean? Like we know what those other teams were because we've seen it play out. We don't have that luxury with this current roster yet. They're just as talented, more so, I think, in some cases, but the jury's still out. And like if Boogie and Carter Knox and Billy Richmond, if they emerge into roles like Moses and Devo and Jalen Williams did that year, then this conversation probably winds up changing a little bit. If the Kentucky trio of DJ Wagner and Adu Thiero and Big Z, if those guys all take a step forward this season, as some expect they are, like for DJ to really establish himself as one of the better guards in the league, for Adu Thiero to prove while people are mocking him as a potential 1st-round draft selection, for Big Z to settle in with a full offseason and emerge as not just a good SEC backup center, but a guy who can make a difference and be an impact player, then that conversation changes a little bit. So we'll go with that for now. That 2021 squad, give me them for the winner. This current group, I'd seed them 3rd, I think, in a bracket. But put this question in your back pocket, right? And let's run it back after the season once we know how this works. Because if you asked me before the 2023 season started, I probably would have had a similar thought of, man, well, like, God, look at all these McDonald's All-Americans. Oh boy, I'm really excited about Trevin Brazil. There was a lot to Ricky Council. There was a lot to like about that team. It just never really fit. And they had their own set of issues. Injuries were obviously a problem. So, I think it's hard to really fully project it and feel confident in it until you see how it all works out. We don't know about this Arkansas team. I like what Calipari's put together. I think there's good balance on the roster, a mix of youth and experience. And he does have some continuity that came with him from Kentucky, but will it work out? Time will tell. But I really, really like that question. I appreciate it. More stuff like that, people. I love that. Give me some more questions like that. That's fun. And if you're wondering how to get the questions in, there's a few different ways that you can do it. I have a thread pinned on my Twitter profile at Kurt Wilkerson _. You'll see it, the Hoop Hogs video mailbag. Just jump in the comments and throw your questions in there. If you follow along on YouTube with these videos, you can hop into the YouTube comments and I go through and find those and make sure that I mark them down so I can get to everyone's questions. But every morning, 8 o'clock, we post one of these. I say it every show and I'm going to continue to say it. We want to do one every single day leading up to the first game of the college basketball season and the start of the John Calipari era at Arkansas. So we're excited about it. We're off to a good start and really appreciate everybody for the engagement, the interaction. This stuff has been a lot of fun and I look forward to doing this every day. So keep it up. Good work, everybody. But I'm going to get out of here. Don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow. This has been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pod at the Palace. Make sure you get subscribed to our YouTube channel. Follow along the Hoop Hogs video mailbag playlist there on Inside Arkansas YouTube. We'll catch you guys again in the morning. Everybody have a